2004's Dawn of the Dead came from a time that was maybe just a little bit more innocent, where it wasn't this, say, expected thing for every single fucking horror movie from the 70s and 80s had to get a remake, where you could believe the filmmakers were, taking on the project to say, well, we have this old story, we've Dawn of the Dead, the original, but we want to give it a modern take. We want to tell it in a new way, because telling it in a new way is worth telling. And you could believe that. And with this film and with what came prior, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, those, of course, were huge, huge hits, and I guess inadvertently started this huge trend of every horror movie with even, like, the vaguest recognizable title is going to get fucking remade no matter what. So, I mean, for better or worse. And for better or worse, of course, it started Zack Snyder's career, who's a big-time, big-shot director now, going on to do stuff like 300, Watchmen, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, stuff like that. Which is interesting, because I would say Dawn of the Dead, this new version, it is much more of an action movie than a horror movie. Like, it doesn't get kind of, psychological kind of scares like you'd get from the original Dead movies. It's more of this adrenaline-fueled roller coaster ride of excitement, which I think is fine. And you contrast that to something like Resident Evil, which is also a zombie movie with action scenes and guns a-blazing and stuff like that. And this is such a more competently made movie with better action sequences, more engaging action sequences, and better characters that you actually do invest in and you care for. And they actually have personalities. Isn't that something? I do think it has a good cast to it, all things considered. I mean, we have Sarah Polley, we have Marcellus Wallace, we have Phil from Modern Family, the husband from Medium, and Mekhi Phifer, all in roles here. And I think they do a great job, particularly Sarah Polley in the lead, because, like, you think of her as, she's a Canadian actress, great. You think of her as kind of like this indie darling, so to see her in the primary role of this big action zombie apocalypse epic is kind of cool, which I like. So I do think it uses elements from the original story, from the 1978 film, to good effect. Like, this is basically the same movie. A group of survivors, zombie apocalypse, they find them all, and that's what we're going to do. And I think from the very beginning of this movie, it captures you, it gets your hooks into you, because it's such a fantastic opening sequence. We have the Sarah Polley character. She's a nurse, she's ending her shift, normal day, but we hear, like, little things on the radio, like, oh, someone was bitten, and things like that. Then things get worse and worse. The little zombie girl and the husband gets bit, and zombies are running around. She's driving her car, and things are exploding. She crashes into the tree. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I think that's a really cool opening sequence with Johnny Cash as the man comes around. And it's very much a movie in a similar vein as 28 Days Later, where we have the running zombies, the fast-paced, furious zombies, which is, I don't know, it's a modern take. It's kind of cool. But unlike something like 28 Days Later, here we go back to, it's not caused by a virus or anything like that. It's mysterious. So we see over the credits, like, they're talking to some government official who's like, is this a virus? We don't know. Are these people dead? We don't know. Can we do anything? Are we fucked? I don't know. Dawn of the Dead. So I think it's a good survival horror. I think it has very exciting action sequences. And as we're getting into this, we do kind of realize that we like the characters. Like, some of the best scenes in the movie, I think, don't even really have much relation to zombie carnage or anything like that. Like, I like when they're all kind of almost like settling in and enjoying their time. And they're, like, playing games like, let's shoot the zombie celebrity lookalike. Like, oh, there's Jay Leno, kapow. Oh, Burt Reynolds, kapow. Rosie, get Rosie O'Donnell. And pan over to Sarah Polley, like, you guys had really rough childhoods, didn't you? So I think it's pretty good, and there's good character dynamics. Of course, we have Phil from Modern Family playing the absolute fucking douchebag of the group, who's really good, and Ving Rhames, the ultimate fucking badass, who's great, and I do think all their dynamics work very well. But, I mean, ultimately the movie becomes, how do we create a big, exciting, zombie-filled, balls to the wall, bullets blazing action scenes. So I think there are some cheats in the screenplay a little bit. James Gunn, of course, very talented screenwriter, who'd go on to do Slither, which is an awesome movie and some superhero movie you probably never heard of. But I thought, for the most part, character's good, action's good. But there are some things here and there. The more you watch it, I think the more flaws kind of rear their ugly heads a little bit. Because, I mean, as good of a remake as this is, I mean, people would claim this is one of the very best remakes of recent memory. And I would agree to that. But it's almost like by default. Because so many others are so shitty. Which is not to devalue the movie, but, I mean, end of the day, brass tacks. This is not as good as Dawn of the Dead 1978. Not by a long shot. It's just different, and it's a more modern, exciting version of the story, which is fine. And with that movie, we had the satire of it. We had, our consumers zombies, or how they really like. They're just doing things that they would in normal life anyway. But then we have this group of survivors who they're getting a little too comfortable in this mall here, and then everything kind of gets ruined by the carnage of the bikers who stir shit up a little bit. And so we have the human conflict there, which is really good. Here it's just like you kind of get a sense that they're maybe getting a little bit too comfortable with it. Like, I think what really is the boiling point of the movie is with the Mekhi Phifer character and his wife. Everything goes terribly wrong. She dies mid-childbirth. The child is a terrifying zombie thing, and they all have a shootout and die, and they kind of realize, well, what are we really doing here? Are we really going to raise families in here and things like that? Are we really going to wait to die, basically? So, I mean, there's that. So, really, it has this very sloppy reason for them wanting to get out, and the fact that really just like by sheer chance, the Phil from Modern Family character is just like, oh yeah, we gotta get out of here. How about we take my fucking boat and go for a pleasure cruise? Like, wait, you have a boat? We can get out of here and we can go to an island. Like, are you fucking serious? We're gonna go across the street and help the guy at the gun shack too? It's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's supposed to be this funny moment, but meanwhile, you kind of think, Phil from Modern Family, he's kind of the voice of reason here. Which, like, even if it was, like, exactly the same thing, like, instead of them doing it on a whim and a chance, it's like, we just want to get out of here and just not wait here to die, I think maybe it would have been better if, say, they listened to the emergency broadcast, said, hey, there's a safe haven here in this island here, and he's like, oh, wait, I have a boat, and we can actually do this, instead of the characters kind of being stupid and not really having much of a reason to get out. But ultimately, all that's forgivable. And the reason for that is because the action that follows is so fucking good. I mean, the last act of this movie is just so exciting and so filled with carnage and awesome zombie shit that it's really a sight to behold. So I really do like that, despite some problems here and there. Despite, again, another contrivance of the girl going to get the dog because she's stupid, and them going to save her even though she should already be dead anyway, but they had to go anyway because the weapons were in the truck. But still, all that was kind of stupid. And again, you could like still do the movie without that. Just have things go wrong when they go to save the guy. So, I mean, why have that stupid shit with the dog when it's completely unnecessary? But anyway, also, if I'm like angry at this movie a little bit against stupid things, like, you think there's one really stupid part in the movie where it's right near the end, and Phil from Modern Family, he gets killed and turned into a zombie, and Sarah Polley shoots him in the head, and they're like, yeah, and she stays back a little bit, and she just like last minute gets back into the tank, or their makeshift kind of bus tank thing, and like the husband from Medium, who's kind of like built this little relationship with her, he's like, what were you doing back there? She holds up the boat keys that Phil from Modern Family had the whole fucking time. Everybody fucking knew it. And he like just kind of gives her a smile like, nice work. Meanwhile, didn't anybody think we kind of fucking need those keys? Like, I don't know, stupid shit like that. But, I mean, it's small potatoes, and it is a tremendously entertaining film. And while it's not as good as the original, like, rarely remakes are. And I think the modern take that they gave to this story is indeed one worth telling. I really enjoy the movie. I think this is some of Zack Snyder's best work, actually. It's a very colorful movie, actually. Lots of bright red blood, and a great scene when dawn is actually approaching, and characters that we do care for. I mean, with the way the movie ends, I think, the the husband from Medium, we realize, oh, he's been bitten, and it is kind of a heartbreaking moment, I think. So, I don't know. I think in being able to successfully give us characters that we can root for, in successfully composing really good, really exciting action sequences, I think this is indeed one of the better remakes. It is something different. It's not shot for shot or any shit like that. It's its own unique thing. And yeah, I would agree. Dawn of the Dead 2004, one of the best remakes of recent years. Maybe not saying much, but I think this movie holds its own. I think it still holds up after what, like, it's a 12-year-old movie now, so still holds up very, very well. So, I mean, if by any chance you haven't seen Dawn of the Dead 2004 edition, give it a watch, but not as good as the original. Here's my question to you before I close the video. Do you think this is better than the 1978 version? I'd really be interested in knowing if someone believes that. So comment below, let me know. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Visit Dare237.com. And until next time, I'll see you later. Stay scared.